Hello and welcome to the civil engineering fraternity across the state, and in fact it has reached beyond the state also. We at MIT Mysore are extremely happy that our videos are watched by many of the civil engineers, practicing civil engineers as well as students across the state and country. And it also increases the responsibility of all of us at MIT Mysore as teachers to deliver the best to our knowledge. And we hope we are doing the best possible at the college, and the management is of utmost support in delivering the contents. As we all know, the 21st century, the 2 decades that are now over have focused on outcome based education, and we are no far behind in the race, and we are most focused on achieving outcome based education and imparting the same to the student fraternity. So, to have that outcome based education, it is very important to have a vision and the mission to reach the vision. And as well, a student must know what actually he will be learning from a prescribed syllabus and also from the entire course of 4 years. So, in today's class, before I get into the actual class, I will have to let you know the vision of this great institution and the vision of this department, which is in line with the vision of the college. The vision of the college states that to be recognized as a premier technical and management institution promoting extensive education, fostering research, innovation and entrepreneurial attitude. The same in Kannada is ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ, ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಹಾಗೂ ಉದ್ಯಮಶೀಲತೆಯನ್ನು ಉತ್ತೇಜಿಸುವ ಅಗ್ರಮಾನ್ಯ ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ಆಡಳಿತ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕೇಂದ್ರವಾಗಿ ಗುರುತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು. To achieve this, the entire team of Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore is working on a war foot, and the Department of Civil Engineering is contributing to its fullest capacity. The vision of the institute is the motivating factor to frame the vision of the department, and definitely the vision of the department is in line with the vision of the college. I will read out the vision of the Department of Civil Engineering at MIT Mysore. It states that to be recognized as numero uno in the field of civil engineering education, research and an importer of enterprising skills. That in Kannada is ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ, ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಉದ್ಯಮಶೀಲತೆಯ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸುವ ಅಗ್ರಮಾನ್ಯ ವಿಭಾಗವಾಗಿ ಗುರುತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು. And this vision statement has the backing of a well planned mission statements according to which all the staff here are working, and more or less all the students coming out of this institution, and more so the students listening to our lectures sitting at the convenience of their homes will definitely be able to achieve all these things. So, why are we framing these vision and mission statements is that our institution wants to produce engineers with the global graduate attributes as given by the Washington Accord. I will also let you know what are those 12 graduate attributes that an engineer must possess. The 12 graduate attributes are engineering knowledge, problem analysis, design or development of solutions, conduct investigations of complex problems, modern tool usage, the engineer and society, environment and sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication, project management and finance, lifelong learning. These are the 12 attributes that an engineer must possess through our course, that is applied hydraulics. Applied hydraulics. We will try to accommodate as many program outcomes as possible through the teaching, but we cannot evaluate all the 12 program outcomes through our course. I repeat, the course outcomes that we write, that means a student will be able to get so many things out of our course. The course is applied hydraulics, and that which can contribute to attainment of the program outcomes, the 12 that I just quoted. So, through our teaching we may be touching upon all the 12 POs, but we cannot evaluate all the 12 POs through this course alone. So, we would be matching certain of our course outcomes with the most relevant of program outcomes. So, what is this course all about? This course is probably the continuation of fluid mechanics that you studied in the third semester. In continuation to that, we will have a lot of applications of the concepts that you learned in fluid mechanics and which forms the basis for learning of applied hydraulics. The syllabus of the applied hydraulics is containing a few things that are very important for a civil engineer to know. The first module, of course, you know the system of our Visvesvaraya Technological University's syllabus. You will have 5 modules. Each module will be given for 20 marks in the final examination, wherein you will have 2 full questions from each of the module. That means a question paper of 100 will comprise of questions for 200 marks. That is 2 full questions from each module. That becomes 40 marks per module, and you will have to choose one among them and write in full to get the 20 marks out of it. So you have 5 modules. The first module deals with dimensional analysis, model analysis, buoyancy and flotation. The second and third modules deal with the open channel flow hydraulics, wherein you will study about uniform flow and non-uniform flow as well. And the fourth module deals with the curved vanes, and taking lead from curved vanes, the impact of jet on curved vanes. You will also study about the hydroelectric power plant and turbines, and the last module deals with reaction turbines and pumps. So by the time you complete the course on applied hydraulics, according to the syllabus prescribed by the university, you will be able to apply dimensional analysis to develop mathematical modeling and compute the parametric values in prototype by analyzing the corresponding model parameters. The second course outcome would be design the open channels of various cross sections, including economical channel sections. The third one is apply energy concepts to flow in open channel sections, calculate energy dissipation. The fourth one would be compute water surface profiles at different conditions. And the last one is design turbines for the given data and to know their operation characteristics under different operating conditions. Apart from these 5 course outcomes that is prescribed by the university, we at Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore, Department of Civil Engineering would frame certain course outcomes by which through our teaching we would be contributing to the attainment of program outcomes as much as possible. That you will come to know little later through the course. And now, hello and greetings of the day. Welcome back to the sessions on applied hydraulics, a 4th semester subject in civil engineering. Now the first 3 modules were taught to you over the online classes, since we did not have the opportunity to come here and record the videos going to the extended lockdown. Here we are again taking classes related to the applied hydraulics, module 4 and 5. The recorded videos will be available to you over YouTube. The 4th module deals with the impact of jet on vanes. This forms the basis for the study of turbines and pumps. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, when the electricity was first generated, people came to know that if the water with force, if it hits the wheel rotates and the hydraulic energy gets converted to mechanical energy, and hence from that mechanical energy we used to get the electrical energy converted. So in this process, people came to know that when the hydraulic energy, that is water in the form of a jet, when it hits the vane or a part of the wheel used to rotate. So that part, the preliminary part of that is nothing but the impact of jet on vanes, which we will be studying as part of the 4th module. Now, once the name is written on the board, impact of jet on vanes. Now we have a few things that needs to be understood. You might not have heard the vanes. You may have heard jet because in the 3rd semester you had quite a bit on the jet. And what do we know about impact? That also needs to be studied. So what is a vane? What is a jet? The jet is water coming out of the nozzle fitted to the end of a pipe. That part of water which comes out of the nozzle is called a jet. When there is an obstruction to the jet flowing out of the nozzle, that obstruction may be called as a vane. A vein can be circular, a vein can be vertical, or a vein can be inclined. Now in this particular syllabus, you do not have the study of impact of jet on inclined or vertical veins. So we can focus ourselves on the study of impact of jet on curved veins. In the curved veins, a curved vein can be a symmetrical curved vein or an unsymmetrical curved vein. The curved vein that is under study may be stationary or it may be already in motion. So we will have to basically study the impact of jet on stationary curved veins and impact of jet on moving curved veins. How do we study the impact? So what actually happens is when water in the form of the jet strikes the vein, there is a force being generated on the vein for a very short time. So force exerted for a very short time is called impulse. That impulse of the force can be studied using Newton's second law and impulse momentum equation. So what does impulse momentum equation say? So impulse momentum equation. What do we mean by momentum? Momentum is nothing but mass multiplied by velocity. So what does impulse momentum equation say? So impulse of a force must be equal to rate of change of momentum. That is what I am writing here. F is equal to rate of change of momentum. This is according to the impulse momentum equation. Why I am elaborating on impulse momentum equation is because the impact of jet on veins can be studied only through impulse momentum equation. So force is equal to rate of change of momentum. This can be written as, once you have rate in the equation, that means it is time in the denominator. Then you have change of momentum. What do you mean by momentum? Mass multiplied by velocity. So what is change in momentum? It is nothing but initial momentum minus final momentum. So what is momentum? Mass multiplied by velocity. If you observe carefully, in a flow for a particular length, the mass of the liquid flowing at the entrance will always be equal to mass of the fluid at the exit, provided there are no losses. That means in an ideal condition there shall be no losses and hence mass shall remain the same. So in case of change of momentum, mass remains the same. So you can write it as initial momentum as mass multiplied by initial velocity whole subtracted by final momentum, that is nothing but mass multiplied by final velocity. In both the cases mass remains same. So I first write it mass multiplied by initial velocity minus mass multiplied by final velocity. This must be equal to F. So you can now observe, you can take out mass from both the terminologies. Mass multiplied by initial velocity, I will name it as V1, minus final velocity, I will name it as V2, whole divided by time. In this equation, you can observe a terminology called mass by time. What is mass by time? Where actually have you seen mass? If you get into the basics of mechanics, where did you first use mass? It is in case of the first basic property of fluid, which is stated as mass density. What is mass density? Mass density rho is equal to mass by volume. So I need mass here. Therefore, mass must be equal to density into volume. Mass is nothing but density into volume. Now what do I have here? Mass by time. So I will write here, therefore mass by time is equal to density rho into volume by time. But what is volume by time? Volume by time is nothing but meter cube per second. Meter cube per second is the unit of discharge. Discharge is nothing but denoted as Q. So mass by time can be replaced by rho into Q. What is rho into Q? Rho is a constant I will retain as it is. What is Q? Q in other terms is nothing but area multiplied by velocity. So when the jet is coming out of the nozzle, area of cross section of the jet multiplied by the velocity with which the jet is coming out is termed as V. So Q can be replaced by A into V. So basically mass by time can be replaced by rho into A into V. So F is equal to rho into A into V whole multiplied by V1 minus V2. This is a very important equation based on which you derive rest of the equations and solve a lot of numerical problems related to impulse or impact of jet on vanes. Now this F, when you consider it in the x direction, this V1 and V2 initial and final velocities will be in the x direction. When you consider F in y direction, then these V1 and V2, the velocities, initial velocity and final velocity will be the velocities in y direction, which can be written as Fx. Fx means force in x direction must be equal to rho into A into V. These things doesn't change because these belong to the jet. Rho into A into V whole multiplied by V1 in x direction minus V2 in x direction. Similarly, Fy is equal to rho AV into V1 in y direction, V2 in y direction. If at all the force is neither in horizontal nor in vertical direction, you will have to split them into x and y components and use them here. Once we have understood the impulse momentum equation, it is now wise enough to move on to the actual study related to this module, that is impact of jet on vanes. In fact, I can now say that impact of jet on curved vanes. So in curved vanes, I have already told you that there are two types, symmetrical curved vane and unsymmetrical curved vane. First case, we will study the symmetrical curved vane stationary and then unsymmetrical curved vane being stationary, and in the later stages we can study the curved vanes already in motion. So first case that I will be taking up will be impact of, or you can also term it as force exerted by, impact of jet or force exerted by jet, both remain same. Impact of jet on stationary symmetrical curved vane. And once you take a curved vane, the jet can come and strike it at the center, or the jet can strike it at one of the tips. First case I will be taking the impact of jet on stationary symmetrical curved vane getting hit at the center, getting hit at the center. So first I will have to show you how a curved vane looks like. It is like a semicircle. Now since it is to be symmetrical, I will draw a line of reference, horizontal line of reference, and from there I will draw a curved vane which is symmetrical in nature. That means on either side it is the same. And what I have taken is impact of jet on stationary symmetrical curved vane getting hit at the center. How do I show that it is stationary? You can draw this symbol which shows that it is stationary or fixed. So it needs to be get hit by a jet. What is a jet? Jet is the water coming out of the nozzle. So I must show you a pipe. And then at the end of the pipe I have fixed a nozzle, and from the nozzle the jet of water comes out. So this is a pipe, this is a nozzle, and the water coming out of it is nothing but jet of water. When this jet of water strikes the curved vein at the center. The surface of the curved vein which I have considered is very smooth. That means when the jet strikes the vein, there is absolutely no shock. What does that suggest is, once the jet hits the vein, there is no loss in the velocity with which the jet continues to move. If the velocity with which the jet is striking the vein is v, since there is no shock, it continues to move with a velocity v, but only changing its direction because of the obstruction. So from here onwards, I will draw the jet in both the direction. If you observe, it is going out in a direction which is neither horizontal nor vertical, but without changing its magnitude. So this also remains as v. But I have shown you in the derivation that in the derivation of impulse momentum equation, that we will be requiring force either in x direction or in y direction, and hence I will have to split this into two components, one vertical and one horizontal. So what I will do is I will assume that this final velocity makes an angle of theta with the horizontal, and perpendicular to it will be velocity in y direction. Since this is theta and this is v, the horizontal component will be v cos theta, and vertical component will automatically become v sin theta. I will show the jet in a different color so that you can easily understand. Now the force exerted by this jet on the curved vein is given by the impulse momentum equation. So I will first write, we know that from impulse momentum equation, F is equal to rho a v into v1 minus v2. So to get the impact of this jet, I need to find out F. To get F, what do I have? One in x direction and the other one in y direction. So I will first take horizontal direction, or I will simply write it as x direction. In x direction, F changes into Fx. Rho AV remains as it is because it is a stationary vein and the jet is not changing its velocity even while striking the vein. So rho AV into V1, since I have taken F in x direction, V1 must also be in x direction, minus V2 in x direction. So what is rho AV? It remains as it is because velocity with which the jet is coming is V only, into V1 x. What is V1 x? That is initial velocity in x direction. If you observe what I have taken, the initial velocity as is nothing but v. So v1 in x direction is v only, minus what is v2x? v2 is final velocity. Final velocity in x direction. If you observe what is final velocity is also v because there is no shock or there is no loss. But that velocity was neither in x direction nor in y direction. So I have split that into two components, out of which the x component or the horizontal component is v cos theta. But you can clearly observe from my drawing that v cos theta is traveling in negative x direction. So v2 in x direction is nothing but v cos theta in negative direction. So that can be written as minus v cos theta. Be careful in understanding this. V1x minus, that I have written as it is. V1 in x direction is v, minus I have retained. What is v2 in x direction? v2 is final velocity in x direction. That is v cos theta in negative x direction. So minus v cos theta. this on simplification you will have rho A V into, you can take V outside, whole multiplied by 1, minus of minus becomes plus. So that is 1 plus cos theta. On further simplification, Fx is equal to rho A V into V is V square. Rho A V square into 1 plus cos theta. So when you take impulse momentum now in y direction, that becomes Fy. Fy is equal to rho A V into V1 in y direction minus V2 in y direction. So this is nothing but rho A V into what is V1 in y direction? Initial velocity in y direction. But the initial velocity is in pure horizontal direction. That means it will not have a vertical component at all. That means V1 in y direction becomes 0 minus what is V2y, that is final velocity in y direction. If you observe what is the final velocity is also V in magnitude but was neither in horizontal nor in vertical. So I had already split that into two components, out of which the vertical component was V sin theta traveling in the upward direction. Upward is taken as positive and hence V2 in y direction is V sin theta. V sin theta. So this can be written as Fy is equal to minus has to be taken here, minus of rho A V square sin theta. This is nothing but your Fy. Using these equations, you can straight away solve the numerical problems related to the impact of jet on a symmetrical stationary curved when getting hit at the center. But anyhow, I do not advocate using these equations straight away and substituting the values. Instead, what you can do is, by the understanding of impulse momentum equation, just you can apply the impulse momentum equation then and there itself, and within one or two steps you can derive the expression and then get the values and solve the numerical problem. Moving on, we have impact of jet on symmetrical curved way getting hit at the tip. Instead of center, I have taken one of the tips. So I will again draw the line of reference because it is again a symmetrical curved way that I am choosing, and I will draw that symmetrical curved way. But instead of the jet hitting it at the center, I have the jet striking it at one of the tips. So I will draw the jet striking it at the tip. So from here I will draw the nozzle. So and from there you have the pipe. So this is nothing but your pipe. This is nozzle. This is jet of water. Now in the first case, that means when the jet was horizontal, there was no need of splitting it into components because the jet itself was in the pure horizontal direction. But now, since it is striking at some angle, if the velocity with which the jet is coming out is V, its direction is neither horizontal nor vertical. So I will have to split that into horizontal and vertical. So I will assume the jet to be making an angle of theta with the horizontal at the inlet. And I will also draw the vertical component. Since this angle is theta and the magnitude is V of the resultant, so the magnitude of the component in x direction becomes V cos theta, and that in the vertical direction becomes V sin theta. And from here, the way that I am taking is again a smooth way, and hence there will be no shock. That means there will be no change in the velocity with which the jet continues. So jet is striking it at a velocity of V and also continues in the velocity V. Continues with the velocity V and leaves the vane with the same velocity V. since the vein is symmetrical, the angle with which the jet enters the vein will remain the same even while exiting. That means the final velocity will also make an angle of theta with the horizontal, making the horizontal component equal to v cos theta and vertical component being equal to v sin theta. So this you need to understand why the velocity has remained the same. Velocity has remained the same because the vein is smooth, and the angle has not changed because the vein is symmetrical. So now again I need to find out the force exerted by this jet on the vein. Force exerted by the jet on vein is governed by the impulse momentum equation. So we know that from impulse momentum equation, F is equal to rho a v into v1 minus v2. So I will first take in x direction as usual. So what is in x direction? F in x direction must be equal to rho a v into v1 in x direction minus v2 in x direction. So rho a v I have written as it is into v1 in x direction. Observe carefully, v1, that is initial velocity, which was neither in horizontal nor in vertical direction. So that resultant initial velocity I have split into two components, of which horizontal component is v cos theta and is moving in the positive x direction. So v1 x becomes v cos theta minus what is v2 in x direction, that is final velocity in x direction. Final velocity was v in magnitude but was neither in horizontal nor in vertical. So I have again split that into two components, of which the horizontal component is v cos theta in magnitude but the direction is negative x as observed from the diagram. So I will write it as minus v cos theta. So on simplification you have rho a v into, you can take out v from both the components, v into cos theta, minus of minus is plus, that is again cos theta. So cos theta plus cos theta is 2 cos theta. So you can write fx is equal to 2 cos theta into rho a v into v, that is rho a v square. So 2 rho a v square cos theta is the force in x direction. Now if I apply the impulse momentum equation in y direction, you have Fy is equal to rho a v into v1 in y direction minus v2 in y direction. So that can be written as rho a v into v1 in y direction. In the previous case, since the jet was horizontal, it did not have a y component in inlet, but now you have a y component at inlet also, and that is equal to v sin theta in the upward direction. Taking upward as positive, v1 in y direction becomes v sin theta minus v2 in y direction, that is final velocity in y direction. From the diagram you can observe final velocity in y direction is also v sin theta and as well in positive y direction. So this can be written as v sin theta. So v sin theta minus v sin theta becomes 0. So force in y direction becomes 0. Again, no need to remember this. Apply impulse momentum equation as and when given in the numerical problem and solve. Moving on, I will consider an unsymmetrical curved vein now. The unsymmetrical curved vein getting hit at one of the tips. What shall be the impact of such a jet on that vein will be now studied. So what I will do is I will draw an unsymmetrical curved vein. An unsymmetrical curved vein getting hit at one of its tips. So I will draw the jet hitting the unsymmetrical curved vein at one of its tips. So this is nothing but pipe that I have considered. This is the nozzle. So jet is coming out of the nozzle. So this is an unsymmetrical curved vane, but I have considered a smooth curved vane so as to ensure that there is no shock. That means if this jet is traveling with velocity v, with the same velocity it continues even after striking and leaves the vane with the same velocity. So since I have taken an unsymmetrical curved vane, I will also write that in my heading. So impact of jet on stationary unsymmetrical curved vane getting hit at the tip. As I have told you, since the vane is smooth, the velocity with which the jet enters, the same velocity remains while continuing and while at exit also. But what changes from the previous case is the angle made by the velocity component at inlet and outlet. At the inlet, assuming that the jet makes an angle of theta with the horizontal, you have horizontal component as v cos theta and vertical component as v sin theta. But while at the exit, the angle shall not remain same. So I will assume the angle made by the exit velocity or the final velocity as phi with the horizontal, making the horizontal component as v cos phi and vertical component as v sin phi. So to get the impact of this jet on the unsymmetrical curved vane getting hit at the tip, I will again have to take the help of impulse momentum equation. What does impulse momentum equation say? F is equal to rho av into v1 minus v2. When I take that in x direction, it is rho av into v1x minus v2x. Here fx becomes rho av remains as it is. What is v1x? v1 in x direction, that is initial velocity in x direction, which is positive v cos theta. So v cos theta minus v2x, v2 in x direction, that is final velocity in x direction. The magnitude of that component is v cos phi, but traveling in negative x direction. So this becomes minus v cos phi. On simplification, this can be written as rho av into v is a common factor into cos theta minus of minus is plus cos phi. So finally fx will be equal to rho a, v into v is v square, rho a v square into cos theta plus cos phi. Similarly, when I consider it in y direction, you have Fy is equal to rho a v into v1y minus v2y. So that is rho a v into v1 in y direction. v1 in y direction is positive y direction. The magnitude is v sin theta. So v sin theta minus what is v2y? Final velocity in y direction. So final velocity in y direction is v sin phi, traveling in the upward direction, so it is positive. So v sin phi. So this can be written as rho a, v can be taken outside. When multiply it by v, it becomes v square. Rho a v square into sin theta minus sin phi. So this is nothing but your Fy. These three basic derivations, in each case the vane was fixed. The vane was fixed. So stationary curved vane getting hit at the center is studied. Stationary curved vane getting hit at one of its tips is also studied. In those two cases I had considered a symmetrical curved vane. In the present case, that is final case for the class, I had chosen an unsymmetrical curved vane but getting hit at the tip. In all the three cases, the vane that I had considered was very smooth, leading to no loss in velocity. The velocity with which the jet entered in all the three cases, the same velocity continued and it left the vane, or even at the outlet the velocity remained the same. I hope these three equations or the method methodology that I have adopted to derive these three equations will help you a long way in learning the impact of jet on vanes, solving various numerical problems on the same, and in continuation learning about turbines and pumps in the later stages of module 4 and 5. Thank you.